everyone, today I'm here to do a book review for you. Today I will be talking about Three Sides of a Heart. This is 16 short stories edited by Natalie C. Parker, and they're all about love triangles. As you can see, I've tabbed all the stories to talk about the book as a whole, and I'm also going to talk about each individual story, letting you know my rating. This is going to be spoiler free because they're short stories. I'm just going to give you kind of a general brief synopsis of what each of the stories is about and what I thought about it, so I won't spoil it for you. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Go ahead and get out of the way. I gave this book 2 out of 5 stars. I did not enjoy it. I had high hopes for it because I'm a really big fan of YA anthologies and short story collections. I really tend to like them. And I was hoping to like this one as well. I didn't go into it thinking, I'm gonna hate this. I hope I hate this. I had a struggle reading this. Like, I really had to push myself to finish this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Out of these 16 stories, there was maybe only 3 or 4 that I really enjoyed, and the rest were kind of and there were some I didn't even finish. I'll let you know which ones too. I just didn't love it. So this is all about love triangles, and I feel one of the main problems I have with this book is that a lot of these stories, there was no love triangle. There was clearly a love interest, and that was what the story was about, which I was great for, but I'm like, why market this as a love triangle book when a lot of your stories are not love triangle ones? There were some in here that were really love triangle-y, which, I mean, I don't love triangles, but if it's a book all about love triangles, I expect there to be some in there. Hey, I would not recommend this book if you're looking for a great short story collection or if you're into the love triangle thing, because some people really enjoy them. I just wouldn't recommend it. I didn't love it. I expected a lot from it, and yeah, I was just ultimately disappointed. And I know you don't want to hear me bashing about it, but there's a lot of amazing books I read throughout the year, but there's also a lot of books that I don't love. And it's okay to not love a book. I beat myself up quite frequently, like, oh, I don't love this book, so I'm so mad. But then I'm like, it's okay. And if you love this book, you may be the only people that loves this book. I think that's awesome. The reviews on Goodreads are pretty much, I'm at par with them. I feel the same exact feelings. There hasn't been a review I've read. There have been like rave reviews on each story, so I feel like I'm not one of the popular opinions, but either way, I just want to share with you my thoughts and opinions because a lot of people have talked about this book or heard about this book, and I wanted to share with you what I thought of it. So yeah, 2 out of 5. Now let's get into the nitty gritty. If it's already not nitty gritty enough, then talk about each individual story. I usually have notes prepared because I like to talk about in depth, but this one I was like, I just need to get this over with. I'm so bad, I know. The first one we have is Riddle and Mathematics by Katie Cadugno. I give this one a 4 out of 5. It was really cute. I honestly don't remember what this one is about. It's about a girl that is in love with her brother's like best friend slash like girlfriend, and her brother also really likes her as well. So it's kind of a love triangle between this one girl who, you know, is clearly the brother and sister kind of want her. It's interesting. I think that was a really interesting spin. So I did like that one a lot. Then we have HalfDread South by Justina Ireland. This one was very interesting. I also give this one a 4 out of 5. This was about, it took place in 1876, and we have these zombies, and we have African Americans who were actually hired to like be the protectors of white people to like protect them from these zombies. And basically we have a love triangle where this girl hires an African American to protect her from these zombies, and she kind of falls for this girl, but she also has a suitor that she's gonna marry. So I really liked it. I liked the way Justina Ireland told her story. I believe she has a whole book out called Dread Nation, I think, but either way, I loved her writing. I definitely want to check out her book now because this was definitely one of the most intriguing stories overall. I enjoyed it a ton. We have Omega Ship by Ray Carson. I gave this one like a 1.5, 2 out of 5 if you want to be like really particular. This basically was about like these 3 teenagers that woke up in pods, like they're in a spaceship, and all the other pods kind of crashed around them, and they land on this new planet, and basically it's a girl and 2 boys, and she has to provide, you know, a whole new generation. She has to give up a whole bunch of babies and make babies, and that's the love triangle. I felt like it was very odd. The characters were horrible. I felt like they were pressuring her. Did not enjoy the story in the slightest. La Rechivana del Tango by Renee Adihe was one of the first stories that did not have a love triangle in the slightest. Like, they were pushing it to say it was a love triangle. I enjoyed the story, yes, and I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5, but there was no love triangle really at all. It's about this girl that goes to Buenos Aires for like a vacation, and she meets another exchange student there, and they go to this tango club and they start dancing, and it's clearly a love story between them, but was the other like triangle point was like this salsa dancer this tango dancer who had like maybe 5 seconds in the story, and like, how's that a love triangle? Either way, that's why I faulted it, because it wasn't a real love triangle. I mean, I don't know. You gotta be about a love triangle if you're a book about love triangles. Anne and Dra by Natalie C. Parker. I give this one a 4 out of 5. This is actually the one that's edited by the, this is the one that's written by the editor of the whole book. It's about this girl that can, like, not see the future, but see the outcomes of decisions that she can make. And it's about her, and she's in love with her girlfriend, and she knows that whatever decision that's presented in front of her, she's going to go with her girlfriend, and then another girl's into the mix as well. It was very interesting the way she wrote it. I really enjoyed it. Definitely a love triangle one for sure. So 4 out of 5 for that. Then we have Lessons for Beginners by Julie Murphy, which I gave also like a 3.5, 4 out of 5. I enjoyed this one. This girl who was a like kissing coach. She's a really good kisser, so like people from her high school will hire her, and like, you know, she'll teach them how to kiss. And basically she gets a couple come to her like for lessons, and she falls for the girl in the couple, and you know, it's a love triangle because the girl's, you know, trying to decide who she wants. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. I like the whole premise of it, how's a kissing coach. I know you're like, this does not sound like a 2 out of 5 book. We're gonna get into it. Like after this story is where I think it gets dicey, where I'm like, oh boy. Then we have Triangle Solo by Garth Nix. I DNF'd this one. This was like about a band and about a triangle, like solo, like out of a marching band. That's all I know about it. I honestly read maybe 5 pages of it and I had to skip it because the writing was horrible. The plot was horrible. The characters, I do not understand at all where the story was going, and I can't even say what I want to say. Like, I just don't even know what to say about it because it was just so weird. Like, I try not to DNF short stories because I'm like, it's 30 pages, just power through it. It's not like you're reading a whole book. I could not power through this one. The next one we have is Vim and Vigor by Victoria Roth. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 as well. I'm definitely unpopular opinion on this one because a lot of people have shared their individual ratings on Goodreads, and a lot of people love this one. I liked it, didn't love it. This is another one I feel like was not a very, there was no love triangle. I feel like there was no love triangle, so I've kind of faulted it for that. It was about, it's hard to explain. It's about this girl who likes this other girl, and there's no love triangle. That's all I can tell you about it, really, because there's not a lot happens in it. Then we have Work in Progress by E.K. Johnston, another DNF one for me. This takes place within like 3 characters, but I think you're getting the 3rd perspective of each one of these characters. So basically, throughout these whole 30 pages, which I didn't finish, I have no clue what was going on. Like, I read 10 pages of it. I was like, whose perspective are we reading? Who's this? Now we're talking about this person. Who's that? I don't know why the author decided to write it like that, but I really did not like it. Like, that's probably the one, I think even over Triangle Solo, I was like, what am I reading? Then we have Hurdles by Brandy Colbert. I give this one a 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. This one I would like to see a full-length novel of. It's about this girl who is a track runner or a hurdle. I don't know what the specific term for that is. And basically she has a boyfriend who she really does love, and then this guy re-enters her life again. He just got out of rehab for being an alcoholic, and basically she's confronted with the choice of like leaving with him or staying with her boyfriend. And this one, like by the end page, I was like, you better not make the wrong decision, woman. And it was interesting. I really enjoyed this one. This was definitely my favorite, I'd say, story throughout this whole bunch. Like I said, I want to read more. I got to read more of Brandy Colbert's work. I don't think I've read a single book by her, but I loved this story. And then we have The Historian, The Garrison, and The Cankerous Catwoman by Lamar Giles. I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5. This one gave me such strong Buffy vibes. Basically, we have this world where you have this librarian, which is like Giles and Buffy, and he provides a lot of intel, or I'm saying he because of Giles, provides a lot of intel to our like superhero guy. He goes and fights all these bad demons and things like that. Then we have a new girl that enters the mix, and there's a love triangle because he likes both of these girls. But this one was interesting. I wish I would have rated it higher, but the rating was kind of iffy for me, but I enjoyed the overall plot. Very, very interesting, and I loved our main character, how she she's kind of an anti-hero, and she was kind of almost a villain too. I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much, but I think I loved it because it gave me all the Buffy vibes. Waiting by Saba Tahir. This one, I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was nothing memorable. It did have a love triangle in it, but nothing really happened. It was basically about a girl that liked these two guys, and I don't know. I just didn't really like either love interest at all, honestly. Then we have Vega by Brenna Yanavov. I gave this a 2 out of 5. It was okay. I did like how it was a love triangle between a guy that she liked and almost like a city that she loves. That was interesting, but other than that, the writing didn't really grip me. I wasn't super invested in the story, so sorry I'm giving you such brief synopsis. Then we have 100,000 Threads by Aaliyah Dawn Johnson. This one I also gave a 2.5 out of 5. I really wanted to like it more, but it was confusing. It was told half in like emails, half in like interviews, and I was having a hard time understanding what was going on. But I believe it was like set in the future in 2078, and we had like this kind of Spanish war happen, and we have all these people that are like undercover and things like that. It was interesting. I did really want to like it, but the writing style, how it would go from email, then to interview, then to just regular, I was like, I'm not understanding what's going on. It was kind of not a love triangle as well by the end of it. Like, it's hard to explain, but I did like it. I just didn't love it. She Was Bloody by Tessa Groton. This one's a very, very interesting one where it's about this girl who's pretty much like I forget what she's called. Like she's the goddess of the moon or something like that. And she really wants to love this guy, but she can't because she is like the goddess of the moon or something like that. But she's also in love with a female. So we have a love triangle go on there. This one also, I felt like it needed to be fleshed out more because we only had 30 pages and I didn't quite understand the whole plot and how all of this, you know, rankings were happening and the goddess of the moon. And like, I'm saying this all wrong, by the way, but I liked it. I just didn't understand it. So yeah. The last story we have is Uno Dos Tres by Bethany Hagen, which I gave a 3.5, 4 out of 5. I like this one for the sheer fact that it was about vampires, and it was about these two, it was about this vampire who fell in love with this guy, and they're in a relationship, then this girl enters, and this one will break your heart by the end page. Holy crap. I might just bump it up to 4 out of 5 for that, but it was good. It was really good. I loved how it was also like kind of a polyamorous vampire relationship. Very interesting. And the one before that, before She Was Bloody, was also kind of poly as well. There you have my thoughts and opinions. Looking back on it, I didn't rate a ton that were horrible, but I mean, there was 2 stories in this that I DNF'd. There was probably like 3 or 4, which I gave a 2 out of 5, and a lot of them are 3 out of 5. So for me, that's I mean, I guess we could say I could just give it a 3 out of 5 as a whole, but to me, looking back on it, I didn't really enjoy it a ton, so I'm gonna stick by my rating of 2 out of 5. I just, I don't know. I don't know what to feel about this book because I just didn't enjoy it. So sorry my review was kind of all over the place and I went very quickly with the ratings, but I just didn't have enough to say about this book. Like, it didn't keep me captivated. I really had to push myself to read it. So overall, like I said, a 2 out of 5. If you're looking for a great YA anthology, I think there's a ton more out there that are far better than this one. I know it's harsh to say, but that's how I feel, and I have to be honest with you guys. But yeah, if you've read this book, let me know. Am I alone? Did you love this book, or did you not like it? What were your favorite stories? What were your least favorite stories? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions because maybe I'm solo on this and not liking it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.